We're here in Nisswa, Minnesota at the MTA's Video Peer Group. We're with Matt Polka. Matt just spoke of the importance of what's happening with retransmission and other things. And in fact, you called this a turning point. You've been doing this with the ACA for 18 years. And so why is this a turning point right now?
Because of what's going on in the marketplace today with the dispute that's occurring between Fox and Cablevision. This is a retransmission consent dispute of unprecedented magnitude, where Fox has dropped broadcasting channels, they've dropped cable channels, and they've now also dropped online programming, which has never been done before and raises the whole specter of net neutrality and all other kinds of problems that are created by these large content companies that control and leverage their programming and to keep it away from providers until they get paid significant sums. So I think based on what the actions of Fox that are occurring in this dispute now, it's going to have wider implications about the brokenness of retransmission consent, the failure of the rules to keep up with the times, and the need for congressional or FCC interaction to look at the rules and then possibly revise them for the benefit of consumers.
And you talked about some new bundling that's taking place. We have content that's on the web that has been, they want to charge everyone for that content.
Exactly. What I refer to as the ESPN 360 model. It's now called ESPN 3, but it's basically the concept where the programmer that owns the online content only makes it available to consumers if their cable operator pays a fee for every one of their subscribers, whether they watch it or not. It's basically the same wholesale programming model that we now deal with on cable television, that some programmers want to migrate over to broadband and access to content online. The problem with that is, of course, additional fees for consumers, but additional programming fees on the cost of entry and access for broadband, which our government is very concerned about greater access and adoption. If programmers put more cost increases on broadband, then it costs more to actually get broadband, and that's going to mean less adoption. So we're very concerned about this model and want to see it stopped in the context of either current FCC rules or in other rulemakings.
Yeah, and that's something that it may look small on a per subscriber basis and insignificant, but when you add it up, it adds up to billions.
Into billions. When you look at the tying and bundling that occurs as a result of these wholesale programming deals, it really is in the billions, and we don't want to see that migrated over to the broadband pipe as it currently exists on cable today.
Well, and one of the things that the programmers have to their advantage is they have this huge promotional machine, the whole I Want My MTV, and the operator, though, gets blamed for raising the costs. And you brought up a good point about educating the consumer.
Yes, it's very important that video providers of all kinds communicate with their customers about where the real costs of programming are coming from. Cable operators, video providers get blamed for the cost increases because we're closest to the customers. The programmers, the broadcasters, they know that. They know they're not being held accountable, that we're being held accountable, so they don't care what they ask because we're the one in the hot seat. But if we communicate with our customers to let them know about where these cost increases are coming from and who's responsible for it, then we can change the spotlight and move the spotlight and the accountability to where it belongs. I mean, we're now talking about retransmission consent fees collectively that are in the billions across the country from all broadcasters. That's going to consumers to pay for. Consumers think we're doing that, we're deciding it, but it's not. It's not. And we as providers have to engage our customers, whether we give them promotional information in our offices, bill stuffers, line items on cable bills to show where these cost increases are coming from, because really we need those people to be our advocates in asking for change in current retransmission consent rules.
And you guys are the advocate for the video providers, so American Cable Association, but you also have this other alliance?
Yes, we're also a member of the American Television Alliance, which is a group of 30-plus entities, cable, telephone, satellite, both Dish and DirecTV, public interest groups, telephone associations, cable associations, all collectively coming together as representatives of consumers and multi-video programming distributors to say the retransmission consent rules are bad for consumers, costly for consumers, and need to be changed. We've asked the FCC, we filed a petition asking the FCC to launch a public rulemaking on reform of retransmission consent, and we hope as a result of this dispute and others that are sure to come in the marketplace besides Fox and Cablevision, that the FCC will get this public process underway, where hopefully we can get to a point where these rules are changed for the benefit of consumers.
Well, super. I guess hopefully we'll see you out in April at your conference.
Absolutely. Our Washington summit, it'll be our 18th annual summit in Washington, where we bring our members to Washington to meet with and lobby their congressmen and senators, April 19th through 21 in Washington, D.C.
Well, super. And Matt, I appreciate your time. And let's get inside. It's kind of cold out here.
Cold out here, but nice to be here. Thank you so much.